Let's bring it back, y'all.
Our cast is brilliant across the board.
We all get what we want.
One thing they all share is just an understanding of humor and comedy
I can improv.
and heart.
I want them all to be beautiful.
Utterly committed to their characters.
Now that's what I call a banger.
They are having fun in the movie, and I feel like that all totally comes through. These are all amazing actors.
I can do magic.
Dan Levy, Natasha Lyonne, Hannah Waddingham, Rihanna. Like, it's everywhere you look, there are quite extraordinary people.
It's amazing how each of us were so unexpectedly perfect for each role. And it shouldn't make sense on paper, but it all makes sense in blue. La 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 la. Did we get that? Did we get that?
Rihanna's involvement as Smurfette, it's everything.
He's sucking all of the goodness out of the universe!
She came in just like open heart, open mind.
Woo!
She's such a terrific actress. She's brought so much.
For Smurfette's voice, I was super inspired by all the women around me. All of these women around me are so different. Super different voices, tones, attitudes. You just have to believe in yourself. I felt like Smurfette needed to come from all of us.
We're here to save everything.
No Name is kind of the heart and soul of the film. There's a vulnerability to that character and that performance that James brought to him.
I wished for a thing, and
All you're really thinking about is don't be the person that lets the entire thing down. So actually, for me, it's terrible that it's such a great cast, because it's just filled with anxiety, jealousy, and fear, which are all things discussed in the film.
You feeling better?
Yeah. The part with the kangaroos was a little weird, though.
Dan Levy is so good as Joel, the assistant.
Would a book fit into a miniature man's pockets, Joel?
honestly, it would depend on how big his pants were.
He's hysterical to me.
Getting to play the bad side is always more fun. And so when the call came in to work on this, especially considering all the different incredible people who are the cast of this film, it was a dream. I feel very proud of this movie and very thrilled with how Joel turned out.
Salut! My name's Moxie. I really love doing animated films. I love lending my voice to animated films. I find it a really interesting art form. I find it extremely freeing, the vocal part of it. It's a different acting muscle.
Hey, come on, Smurfs. Stick a Smurf in it.
Whatever the emotion is, you have to kind of squish it all down and refine it and send it into the microphone.
Beautiful.
Marshmallow,
What the shell?
he's game for anything. Open heart, and joyful. The only trick with Marshmallow is how do you mic Marshmallow?
Oops.
We figured it out. We worked it out. He's really great.
My friend had this bulldog, and the bulldog always looked sad or always looked this, always looked that, so I would always do this voice.
Oh, hey, everybody.
I showed everybody, and they were like, oh, that's perfect.
I'm magic.
Jaunty grimoire, her essence is jaunty.
That's me.
So we asked Amy to bring that to the character, which she certainly did.
Cha-cha-cha!
To tell you the truth, I didn't take in consideration if Jaunty was male or female when I did this role. It didn't matter. You know, Jaunty's Jaunty. It's pretty easy because, again, you trust the material and you know Chris is going to help you with it.
That's a wrap. Buckle up. Hold on to your little Smurf nubs.
I love a poop.
Mama's coming for a baby.
Mama poop? I'm a fan of Natasha Lyonne.
Don't listen to him, my shaggy babies. The emotionally unavailable man didn't mean it.
Her voice is made for animation.
You still want a piece of him? We're discovering in real time together who this Mama Poot is. Chris is doing this beautiful job of creating a space wherein you don't feel like a real wackadoo going there. Ah! More fear! More fear! Ah! So that's very fun.
Chris Miller is fantastic. He's quite open to us bringing our own flavor to each performance.
Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle once removed.
The writing sort of inspires in you. You end up then adding little riffs and trying to add some jazz here and there.
You always were a free spirit.
Working with Chris Miller is a dream. I actually look forward to his little giggle when I'm performing my lines because that usually means I'm getting it right. I'm like, yes.
You can tell that this is a director with just an extraordinary pedigree in making children's animation, and he's so passionate about it, you can't help but be caught up in that, really. That sounds pretty Smurfy to me.
I just remember so much of my childhood being connected to the Smurfs.
Here we go. I must have been in that prime age of like 6 to 8 reading the Smurf books.
Smurfs are popular for a couple reasons. Number one, they're cute.
And little and blue, yummy, marshmallowy.
It's a collection of characters who all love and support each other.
Unite in Smurfitude.
All of the Smurfs are defined by who they are, not what they look like. We all know, like, there's a Smurf that's like me. And it connects and it never leaves you.
The whole way these films are made is actually a really artful and incredible process. You're becoming more like the personality, and the personality is becoming more like the character. Tick-tack, wait two.
Rosamel's castle. It transported me to a world that opened up my creativity and my imagination.
I wanted to bring a lot of myself to Smurfette because I related to her so much. She's a leader, she's powerful, and she's also very empathetic.
Believe in yourself.
Joel is incredibly ambitious, if not very, very green. And I think he's dealing with a boss who both inspires him and confuses him at the same time. I've been there. I went full method on this film. I assisted a maniacal lunatic and did that for a year and a half before voicing this character.
I don't know what the I was thinking.
Your lucky sound effects, Smurf, is here.
I got a call about a new Smurf character who was the brother of Papa Smurf. It was very gratifying to be called upon as the sort of Rambo of the Smurf world.
I know a lot of things, fella.
Cool, cool.
No Name is called No Name Smurf because he hasn't found his thing.
Well, you're No Name. That's a thing.
Is it though?
Which lots of people can identify with, that feeling of not knowing quite why you're here. Particularly when you're surrounded with lots of friends who know exactly what they're destined to do and be.
Salut! My name's Moxie. The thing that I really love is that Moxie has a red hat. And if you know Smurfs, that means something.
Part of what I love about Mama Poot is how much she's kind of like a bear over the rest of the pooch. Sort of like very loving and protective. Don't listen to him, my shaggy babies. The emotionally unavailable Smurf didn't mean it.
If I was the size of a Smurf, I would go to a barbecue restaurant, slip underneath a door, and eat a lot of barbecue.
I think I'd get a chicken nugget and go wild.
Maybe you should slow down on the fries.
You're right. Just one more.
I would be pocket hopping, which is sort of like Smurf hitchhiking, so I'd see the world that way.
I would slither under doors, spy on people.
What?
If I were a Smurf, my skill would be eating.
I wouldn't mind being like harmonizing Smurf. Ooh. Pop in with a little harmony.
What the show?
Sorry.
I was just blown away by how big the cast is. It feels like it's endless. Nick Kroll is funny. He's absolutely brilliant. Nick Offerman is brilliant. Amy Sedaris, James Corden just brought so much depth.
Dan Levy, Billy Lord.
John Goodman. You couldn't cast a better Papa Smurf.
Bunch of legends on this film, which is amazing to be a part of.
Fantastic.
Being a part of a legacy is really exciting.
Use your magic to find Gargamel. I think we all see ourselves in a Smurf.
And they are what is beautiful about this world.
We're stronger together.
I'm in Smurf Village.
I studied animation and film, and that's when I realized that the Smurfs 80s TV show from Hanna-Barbera was based on these comic books from the 1950s by Peyo. I thought his sense of design was iconic.
I think we've struck a nice balance between feature animation style mixed with the live-action elements and visual effects.
Using a 2D comic book as your inspiration, the fear is always that if you bring it into animation, it's going to look like Saturday morning cartoon. And the scope of this movie is very epic, and the adventure is huge.
That opened up my world to the possibilities of what this film could look like.
The most fun part is getting to create something that will touch people and kids with people that you admire.
My name is Margaret Wooler, and I am the animation art director on Smurfs. I grew up with the Hanna-Barbera cartoons, and I loved them. So getting the opportunity to work on a movie like this is really a huge privilege.
We're working together. We have really similar sensibilities and similar approach to art making and visual development.
I don't think we have as elegant and beautiful a Smurfette without Margaret. She brought so much to the look of this movie.
She excelled at defining our characters early on, getting paintings of our characters and defining the style and the look of the film.
From the very get-go, Max Boas, the production designer, Matt Landon, and Chris Miller all wanted to honor the comic and honor the original content as much as possible. Miller kept on saying, compose everything to the camera so that it really, really reads well, so that you get that instant message of what the character is doing, what the action is, what the point of that moment is. That actually meant really simplifying some of the backgrounds and stripping away extra plants or extra houses to make the end product simple, clear, and cohesive.
Taking it from the comic page to a computer-generated world that was immersive, something that you could feel like you could reach into, that you could touch, that you could smell. I felt like that was long overdue and a real opportunity.
We definitely wanted our Smurfs to feel like our Smurfs from Smurf Village when they were in the real world. So we had to do a lot of thinking and planning on how to make that aspect real.
Amazing.
You map out the color, temperature with the emotional arcs of the movie. And the color script, Max Boas and I and the whole art team created a wonderful flow so that the most intense moments get these really, really sharp juxtapositions of color to make them feel powerful and epic, and then moments where it's very dark and mysterious. One really intentional decision with the animation versus the live action, we highly stylized the color palette. And by doing that, that gave us a point of contrast to when you go into the live action world.
Where are we?
It's Paris.
It's a hybrid film. There are locations in Paris and in the Australian outback and in Germany and Munich. And then beyond that, we cross dimensions.
It is a journey, and it's super unexpected. You cannot predict when it's going to happen. There's such a sense of humor with all of the styles of animation and why they're there and when they're there. I love that.
There's an anime bit in there. There's a dimension that's just written on a notepad. That was just fun.
So it was like, what could we have the most fun with seeing our Smurfs in a way that no one's ever seen Smurfs?
One of my favorite styles of animation is when it gets pixelated. It just reminds me so much of my childhood gaming days when things looked that one-dimensional. This entire film brings me back to my childhood over and over again, but I've never seen a pixelated Smurf. That was so fun.
I'm definitely partial to the claymation because it's sort of that old-fashioned stop-motion style. I just love seeing our Smurfs as these lumpy clay creatures.
Chris and Matt are great because they're both so good at directing and understanding the process of animation and continuity of things.
They really help to elevate other people and allowing people to kind of excel what they do.
I don't know who I am, Papa.
I know who you are. And No Name, it's your time.
There's a lot to look at in this film. You see a lot of detail and effort that the art department's put into it, blending the style of our graphic sensibility with the cinematic look. It looks wonderful.
People can come to this without ever having seen a Smurf, with no preconceived notions, and have a great time.
I can go anywhere in the world and tell people I'm working on a Smurfs movie, and they're like ecstatic. Having that kind of privilege is amazing.
Henry Jackman's contribution to this film is amazing. Henry tapped into it immediately. He's brought this vibe that feels like it's from the 80s, that whole period of big action adventure music. It's really, really extraordinary. And to Henry's credit, also marrying what Rihanna has offered, what our music directors, Jay Brown and Ty Smith, have offered, Henry has just found a way to kind of glue it all seamlessly.
I think it might be the first movie I've worked on where they were so far ahead. The very first meeting, they showed me various scenes they had from the movie, which already showed me how surrealistic some of these sequences were. And they played me 6 songs, and where they all went, all of that was in place. So I got a really strong sense of all these really important junctures in the movie, and it just helps you navigate what score will be doing around these song high points. So even though the score doesn't sound exactly like a Rihanna song, a long way from it, in fact, it's more just knowing what you're aiming towards and coming away from.
Initiate extraction measures.
Yes, Lord Razenal. Most evil.
One of the things I really enjoyed about this movie is I get not 1, but 2 evil wizards. That is the ultimate invitation to open up a channel of musical influence that isn't normally available to you in a more, realistic movie. It's not appropriate to have some enormous Wagnerian thing, because that would seem ridiculous. And the more you make the wizards sort of melodramatic and schizophrenic, the better it is.
It's good to see you, Papa Smurf.
I cannot say the same.
I think one of the things to be celebrated in this movie is musically, it really does have a bit of everything. And it's really diverse. So you're going to get all the way from this Rihanna song that happens pretty early to these huge Wagnerian wizard pieces as he's sort of trying to take over the world. That's one of the things I really enjoy, when things aren't kind of monochrome musically. You can really indulge yourself as much as possible in the given amount of time.
It's a really lush, full, giant score, and very moving at times when it needs to be.
There's a lot of comedy going on in the film, but in a way, my job was more to do with the character No Name. Everyone in the village has the confidence of knowing what they do, and he feels lost because he doesn't have a sense of what his thing is. And that's more emotional. That's something more to get your teeth into as a composer. As soon as you come out of Smurf Village, some of the more pop elements that make you feel at home and safe disappear, and things become much grander and more symphonic because the Smurfs themselves are out of their comfort zone. So it's a lot more adventurous. By the time you get to the third act of the film, I'm really proud of how the score in general becomes pretty much like the third act of an opera. It gets pretty serious. We were able to push the whole third act of the film into something that felt like the stakes were hugely high. Ultimately, it is a symphonic score. But having said that, there's so many regional and geographic places that the Smurfs go to that there's a whole load of synth elements, ethnic flutes going on. There's a whole area that's almost a bit Ennio Morricone. It's got all these little pockets of flavor. It's a crazy adventure.
Hold it out!
It's great to know that you've written it and the directors have approved it, and you know it's going to work, but it's still not alive yet. And then you show up here and suddenly these incredible musicians take it and push it to the next level. It's such a communal kind of experience because everyone's mind is focused in the same way. Is undeniably the most exhilarating part of it. I've worked with this orchestra many times, and this score was particularly tricky and had a lot of demanding parts, and they even exceeded my expectations.
Check this out.
We're on location in Rome, subbing for Paris and shooting the disco club scene. We had the pleasure of bringing DJ Snake here, who was amazing. His performance infused this place with energy. It's a disco in full swing, a huge party atmosphere.
I grew up with Smurf, so to me that was automatic. Yes, I'm down, of course. I want to be a part of this. I grew up with this, and that's great that the new generation is gonna keep having Smurf around because they're the best.
We're going to the moment right before we see DJ Snake as our Smurfs coming into this room, which will be filled with dancers and a bartender and a completely raging party.
We're trying things out and we're looking for that moment, that energy. You're trying to catch the crowd. And when you catch them, it's over. When you get them in your hand, you can't let them go nowhere. You shake them up. It's like a roller coaster with different type of emotions. I like to give an experience. We're looking for that magic energy, trying to read the crowd and understand what they want and what they need. It's all about the timing and the energy. I wanted like something danceable, some dope vibes, match the scene, like they're in the club, vibing, having a good moment. So I had to match the energy and create something fresh.
They're going to infiltrate the disco.
Avoid feet!
Stay unseen by the patrons. They're going to make their way up onto the bar, up this rafter, and over the disco ball up there where they jump into. And there's a secret society of Smurfs that actually exists inside that ball, and they need their help.
See you on the other side.
Don't take this the wrong way, but you Smurfs don't know Smurf about Smurf.
I've probably personally smurfed more than you'll ever smurf.
This Smurf movie is different layers. They're gonna have a good time, for sure. The energy's gonna be great, and it's gonna be fun.
It makes the job really interesting to be on location. We have about 100 people here, and we're shooting blank spaces where we will eventually put our Smurfs in there. It is funny, and it is a challenge. You have to just imagine these little 6-inch characters running around everywhere. It's movie magic, as they say.
And there's a lot of very talented people involved, so I'm really excited to see what the other artists are bringing to the table. I mean, everybody loves Smurf, and I'm just excited to be a part of this. This is such an iconic movie. This is something new for me and a great challenge. From DJ Snake to DJ Smurf, I'm Gargamel for sure. I'm a bad boy.
It's a wrap.
Ooh, baby, do you know what I'm worth? Ooh, heaven is a place on earth.
DJ Khaled.
Yes.
Desi Trill.
Everybody need love and I need some too. Numbers look sad cause each one blue. I'm really too hot to try to be humble. I'm looking like proof that dreams come true. Like heaven on earth day. I think you're perfect. Sweet like dessert, but do you deserve it? Think about me, I'm monumental. Give me a statue, I'm monumental. Now it looks good, they get laid to rest. You know the bodies from Bangladesh. Like it, I love it. Say you need me. Kiss, mwah, Cardi, Habibi. Ooh, baby, do you know what I'm worth? I make heaven a place on earth.
Here we
go. I'm on top, yeah, baby, I come first. I make heaven a place on earth. Ooh, heaven is a place on earth. Take you up to a higher Take you up to a I'ma bring heaven straight to your doorstep. It's all nirvana, baby, come in the door. Yeah. I'ma be the only one that you need. I'll give you something, boy, for you to believe in. Keep it high, that vibration, live or die. Your salvation, keep it up, up, up. Keep it up, up, up. Ooh, baby, do you know what I'm
Love
worth?
conquers
I
all.
make heaven a place on earth. I'm on top, yeah, baby, I come first. I make heaven a place on earth. Ooh, heaven is a place on earth. Take you up to a Take you up to a
Higher love. Higher love. Higher love. Brown is everywhere. Heaven is wherever you want it to be. It's the higher love, where the love is higher. The Ray Khaled. Higher love. Yeah.